My first graders are precious. This isn't important. Summer, calm down.
Hello guys!
Hi!
I'm Sean.
And I'm Summer.
And we're back with another video, and we're going to be talking about living abroad.
Yeah. We live in South Korea. We've been here about 8 months.
Yeah.
Why are we here?
To teach English!
Yeah. So, what was your first impression when you got here? Well, when you got to Seoul, and then when you came to our town.
Okay, I didn't really get time to really process being here because I had a 4-week-long orientation, so it was kind of like boom 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 from 7 a.m. until like 8-9 in the evening. So yeah, it wasn't enough time to really like process being here. Unpopular opinion here, but I don't like Seoul. I do not. And so, you know, I don't like the busyness of it, and it's just too overcrowded and everything. I get really overwhelmed. So when I came to this town, I was so happy. It's really small, and like everything is just very nearby and within walking distance. And so when I first came here, I was really happy. Really, really happy. What about you?
Well, Seoul is the first time I've ever been in East Asia. But I loved it, honestly, when I got to Seoul. It was a lot of lights, a lot of new experiences for me. I got dumplings for the first time. But I will say, it was overwhelming. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But then when I came here, I was like, wait, what? Which is funny to me because I'm from an extremely small town. Like smaller than where we live now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think I was just scared of the lack of resources, it felt like.
Yeah.
Like a supermarket or a department store, or where am I going to buy these things? But also, I was just scared to find community. That was my biggest worry, so I was real scared when I first got here and stressed.
Yeah. But talking of community, like it's so good that we have a group of like foreigners here. There's about 20 or so of us, maybe 30, yeah. And they were really welcoming of us. Like, we arrived and another friend of ours arrived at the same time, and they took us out for dinner. And that was really nice because for some of them that have been here for maybe 2+ years, they've seen like a lot of teachers come through. So they probably have to do this welcoming party all the time. But it was so nice of them to have that for us,
Yeah.
Have you tried Korean food before, and was that an easy or difficult challenge for you?
So, prior to Korea, I had tried Korean food one time with my friend Sarah. I lived in the Dallas area, and they have a Koreatown. And we went to, it was Korean barbecue. We didn't know what we were doing. I've never done this before. The manager came over and helped us because clearly we had no idea what we were doing. Sarah can't use chopsticks. I barely could at this point in time. We were a hot mess. We did have some strawberry soju.
Oh, strawberry.
Yeah.
I haven't tried the strawberry one.
It wasn't like the kind here. It was like in a carafe.
Ah, okay.
It was very good. And then we went to H Mart, which is like a Asian supermarket.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, prior to coming here, I had no Korean food besides that one very limited experience.
Wow.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I came here 2 years ago and tried food then, and also visited a few places in London. And so, I don't know, I was always into Korean stuff, really.
Yeah.
So I tried cooking. I used to cook bulgogi before I stopped eating beef, but then, and kimchi jeon, which is like pancakes. So kimchi pancakes and that. It's so good. But, yeah, I think I like the taste of Asian food.
Yeah.
I really like it.
So now that you're here in Korea, what are some of your favorite Korean food?
Jjajangmyeon, which is actually Chinese, but it's like Korean style Chinese food.
Okay.
And it's black bean noodles with a little bit of pork in there, and it's just so delicious. And dumplings are love. Dumplings are life. It's boiled, steamed, fried, it doesn't matter. I love dumplings. And so yeah, jjajangmyeon and dumplings, and sometimes samgyeopsal. What about you?
Kimchi jjigae. which I think is funny because I don't really like kimchi. I love kimchi oi. Oi kimchi, which is cucumber kimchi. Yeah. My favorite. But kimchi jjigae is like a soup with kimchi and pork.
Yeah.
It is divine. So I think part of living abroad, it comes with a lot of trials.
Yeah.
And it comes with some difficult things and just situations that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
So what is some of those things that you had to deal with, and how have you coped with them?
The first one probably just being away from home in general.
Yeah.
Just that I like being by myself. I enjoy my own company, but I also like socializing now and again. But you know, when you're familiar with your friends back home and with your family, just being in the house, it's really hard to kind of live abroad and have to care for yourself, and there's no one there to live with or share some things with. So I think the way I cope with that is probably talking to people back home quite an excessive amount, especially at the start. It was really like back to back every single day talking to people. But now, yeah, I've kind of accepted that I'm away from home, and I've met you, I've met some really nice friends here, and you just fall into a routine. Yeah. I think routine is very important.
Yes.
When you're not doing anything, you have time to think. And
dwell.
So now that, you know, we have the routine going to school, we have weekend plans, we now have this, it's really kind of boosted my mood and made me feel less lonely. Because, you know, one of the biggest challenges is probably the language barrier. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think even though things like this is really challenging, it shouldn't stop you from doing what you need to do.
Very true.
You are here for a reason, and if you want to travel and you want to come to these places and you can't speak the language, that shouldn't stop you.
Right.
Because you'll be missing out on a whole new world, a whole new culture, food, and even friends. Like, you meet the most randomest people. Like, I meet random people and you just have broken conversations with them, but sometimes those are the best stories. So coping with language barriers is just kind of getting a good translator, learning basic phrases, and just being confident, because the fact that you even try saying hello, they appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. I think making an effort is extremely important, no matter where you go.
Well, exactly.
I think if you're going to go, this is my rule, if I'm going to go to another country and they don't speak English, at least, bare minimum, learn hello and thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What have been some of the easiest things for you here?
Eating.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, I have lived abroad before for about 10 months in China, and so in terms of transitioning, that was very easy for me. It was very easy for me to accept being in another country and accept being in Asia again. Just the loneliness feeling was more profound this time around. When I was in China, I was a student, so maybe...
And there's other students.
Yeah, you're on campus, so you feel there's always people around. So yeah, I think that was probably... But yeah, transitioning was the easiest. Yeah. Okay. What about you?
I think the easiest thing, living alone. I did say the first week was rough. It was. After that, it was fine. I've read many books this year. I've had time to plan life things. I've had time to think about things that I avoided thinking about when I was home that needed to be thought through. I was like, thinked? I'm not an English teacher. It's fine. But yeah, I think that has just been a good time for me to process something.
That's good.
We both mentioned that we've lived, not me, you have lived abroad before. What are some comparisons that you can draw from that?
Okay, yeah, so even though China and Korea are basically neighbours, they have completely different cultures and completely different attitudes and mindsets, especially to foreigners. So living in China was difficult. It was difficult towards the end, because you know when people say that they take pictures of you, they take videos of you, like, it's no joke, they actually do. And at the start you're kind of you're fine about it. Towards the end, I was travelling to another city with my friends. You know, we had just finished the semester. We were trying to enjoy ourselves. And I literally just sat down like on a brick wall and just started crying because I just couldn't take it. All the pictures were really overwhelming. And so I think attitudes to foreigners is a mega comparison there. In saying all of this, if somebody asked me, would you live in Korea or China again, I would say China. And just because I just love, it is beautiful, like the landscapes. I love Chinese food again. And
like authentic Chinese food?
Authentic Chinese food. It is different. And I don't know, it's just something about China that I really liked. And I think that's when my mental health was at its peak. I was so happy, and I just felt good every single day, which is really weird to say. Like, I could wake up or something could happen in the day that's like typically bad, but I would still feel good.
For the next part of this video, Sean and I asked some people to ask us some questions about living abroad, thoughts, questions they have for us, specifically questions about living abroad, anything that they wanted to ask us. And while we've only been here 8 months, I think it's important to just get a new perspective, maybe, and even in our limited experience. Just to tell you, just to talk about it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rachel, Bethany, Sarah, Sean's brother, and many assorted friends that asked.
Got your mom.
Oh, and my mom. Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Tanya.
That sent us some questions. Thank you for being interested and invested in our videos.
Yeah, okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first question from my brother. Oh my God! Okay, the first question from my brother. Would you do the experience again?
Yes.
Okay.
Would I stay here multiple years? No. But if I had to relive it, I think I would. I think the pros in that I've grown and learned lots of things about myself outweigh the cons of the actual experience.
Yeah, that's good.
What about you?
Yeah, same. If I had to relive it, then yes. Would I do the experience again in another country?
I think I would.
I think I would want to try Europe.
That's what I was thinking. Spain, France, Holland.
I think I would definitely want to try Europe. So yeah, probably. Yeah.
What is something bigger than a suitcase that you would want to bring back home?
Cafes.
Really?
Easy answer.
For me, I think it would be a noraebang. But particularly a cheap one.
What's a noraebang?
So noraebang is like a personal karaoke room. So you know in the States you can do karaoke, but here it's like you have a little booth. You can fit 2, 4, 6, 8 people in, but they are cheap as heck.
Yeah, super cheap. Okay, next one. How has living abroad affected your sense of identity? Thanks, fan.
That's a kicker there. I was actually talking to my friend about this morning on a call. Just thinking about what I was like when I was home, and then what I want to be like in the future.
Nice.
Behaviors I have, habits I have, or just like people that I really want to pursue a relationship with. Being intentional, I think, has really affected. Being here, being alone a lot, has really affected that, and being able to be like, hey, no, this is what I want out of life, and this is what I want to do.
Yeah. That's
not really identity, but also in the spirit of being vulnerable, since that's what we said, I don't hate myself anymore.
That's such a good achievement. No,
which it really is.
No, that's,
if you didn't know that about me, now you do.
Well, I'm very happy for you, and I'm glad that you found that here, especially within 8 months as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think, I had a lot of work to do, and the Lord has really been central in that, but also just being away from a lot of expectations, I feel
Definitely,
like. Either that were placed on me or that I placed on myself, and just being able to be like, no, this is life.
Yeah, exactly.
So this question comes from Sarah, who made our beautiful picture. Shout out. How How has living abroad changed your view of the US and of the UK?
Ooh. My country is a mess. So being away from it all has been an absolute blessing and a curse, because I'm not there physically to help with getting my opinion across. For example, there was a march the other day, so I wasn't able to do that. So, what was the question?
How has living abroad changed your view?
So I would say, you know, Korea being a collectivist society and the UK and US being individualists,
Very much.
it really opens your eyes up about how everything is for us here. It's for the group. Whereas back home, it's all about me, I. An example of this is how things are handled at school. So I didn't have a classroom when I first arrived. I was teaching in the library, but I still have my own office. And I later found out that they were building a classroom. And they wanted to name it. And they had included me in that, you know, naming of the classroom. And all the students voted for, you know, what the classroom name should be. But I really liked how everyone was involved. It's always for the group. It's always what's going to benefit everyone. And back at home, I feel like with a situation like that, the head teacher will pick the name.
Okay, so I think for me, oh man. Do I want to answer this?
Yes.
I do. I'm scared. My opinion of American politics was already going down the drain before I left.
Just throw both of the countries away, to be honest.
Maybe not that far. But I do, it has changed. I mean, very similar to what Shauna said, it is very familial and community-based here. I mean, at my school, I'm seen as an outsider, so I'm not included, but that's okay. That's just, I am a foreigner, I understand that. It's different. But I think back home, being very individualistic can be beneficial.
Of course, yeah.
But it can also be harmful. I mean, when you only look out for yourself and you don't look out for your neighbor, how does that benefit people? You know, like we need to grow together and learn together, and also like the very like, there's no grace in anything in America right now for anything. You're either extreme on one side or you're extreme on the other side, and that, how does that help people? That doesn't help people if you're just gonna argue at each other all day.
Yeah.
Like we've forgotten how to debate. We've forgotten how to have a conversation when you disagree with somebody.
That's it. Yeah.
Like it's fine. Thank you, Sarah, for causing high blood pressure in both of us with this question.
What are the things that make your home feel like home?
This home.
This home.
This home. I think this question's from Bethany too.
Okay, shout out to Bethany.
Again, sorry. This doesn't really matter about anything. I bought 3 plants my first week here. That helped. As you can see these pictures back here, I brought a lot of pictures and postcards from home. Your girl loves art. Some Van Gogh, a Pollock, and assorted Polaroids of family. My home's like this. You know, I love pictures of people. I love art. And so I have that everywhere in my house at home. And so here I have that as well. I have books. I mean, all these little things really help bring it together. I think if I had to live in a home with bare walls, I would go crazy and feel like I'm in an insane asylum.
That's why you don't spend that long at my place. It makes sense now.
But yeah, all these little things, little touches, I think just bring it all together. What are some things about living abroad that you never get used to? I think this is an excellent question.
This is really, really good.
I'm gonna answer first. Some things you never get used to. I feel like nothing is easy. Like back home, right, you grew up in that environment, you grew up in that culture, you don't have to really think about anything, you can just do it.
Yeah.
Here, I feel like I'm always having to be like, okay, make sure you grab that thing with 2 hands, make sure that you say this, make sure that you bow to this person, make sure that you do this. Or even, I mean, the language is a hindrance, and I feel like that always makes me aware that I don't belong here. That is something I put on myself. I've made no effort to learn the language. This is my own fault. I'm aware of this, but I think that's something that I've just never that is something that I will never get used to.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think the same. I think you're constantly aware of it. Even though, yeah, like I said, my school makes me feel like I'm part of the school. I can't join in on meetings, for example. Like, language barrier is just too great to join in on a meeting. Yeah, just things like that. Little things that make you aware that, you're still the foreigner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So yeah, that was our video on living abroad.
Thank you for watching.
Please drop a comment and let us know if you have any questions, thoughts, opinions, what have you.
Yeah, and next week we will have our first Pick of the Month series.
Yeah!
So look forward to that, and you could already guess what kind of theme it would be considering what this month is. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and we will see you soon.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, take care. I've been Sean.
Summer.
Bye.
Bye.